Yeah, yeah. Whole lot of bitches on Twitter go took on my name because I was really vibing, huh? Whole lot of bitches on Twitter go took on my shit because I was really vibing. Video, coach, go, go. You know you're hard doing this in the club. Your baby, your mother of 2 kids, bro. She's doing this. Other niggas in the club. I tata eat cake. I tata eat cake. You see?
This is not something Mickey Mike ever imagined himself doing for a living.
Shit.
I don't think there is any hope for us here. Everything is to themselves.
He's an illegal refiner in the Niger Delta, one of the most oil-rich regions in the world. He works at night, risking arrest and accidents to refine crude. The result makes it into products that millions of Nigerians and billions of us around the world use every day. Gasoline, diesel, kerosene. Illegal refiners like Mickey Mike know better than most of us that oil is bad for the environment. It's in the air they breathe, the water they drink, the fish they catch.
But it is also all they've got to stay afloat.
They're a powerful example of our complicated relationship with oil. We've built entire economies, industries, and livelihoods around this dirty substance.
I think the reason why we have to blame the oil controversies around the world is the US, bro. The US really cultivated the whole movement for people to go to Iraq and fight for something they didn't even know. They thought like people going to Iraq, going to fight there, it was due to the fact that the 9/11 towers got fucking blown out. Okay? And that's what the US soldiers thought they were doing. But the real deep secret behind the whole logistic shit, bro, the whole thing that we just saw in the movies was because they were going there to fight for oil prices, nigga. Fight for oil. So, I don't know. Either ways, this is crazy, bro.
So what would it take to wean ourselves off of it?
But like, the whole story about the Congo, though, I don't understand. Like, in Nigeria, I don't get the war. Why would they do this, though? But either ways, let's just keep watching the video and just keep tapped in. There's some serious shit, bro. Lagos.
So that's one of the fuel stations over there.
Yeah, it's the NNPC, it's the state-owned oil company. It's pretty much busy every day.
This is my colleague Bukola Adebayo. She's introducing me to a thriving black market in Lagos, illegal fuel. Forget long lines at the gas stations. If you need to fill up the tank fast, you go to guys like him.
And a good day, I can see something like 5,000.
This market exists because fuel's in short supply here. Even though Nigeria is Africa's top crude producer, most of it ends up getting exported and refined elsewhere. Because of this, it imports products like gasoline or kerosene from abroad for its own domestic use at bar.
Whoa, this is crazy, bro. These niggas are exporting so much. Like, they're importing so much compared to what they're exporting, bro. In the early 2000s, they were able to export a bit up until the early 2005s. But from the 2005s to the 2010s, the whole market just dropped, bro. Like, hella crazy. This is fucked up.
Higher prices.
The whole idea that you sell the crude oil, there were all kinds of bloated costs of imported products. There was a source of a lot of suspicion.
To keep Nigerians happy, a government-backed subsidy has kept gas prices low for decades, but has cost the government billions of dollars a year. more than it spent on other services like healthcare or education. That changed last year when President Bola Tinubu announced he was getting rid of the fuel subsidy to save money.
Shit.
As a result, fuel prices jumped from this to this basically overnight. And so Nigerians took to the streets.
The subsidy of the fuel, the price is too much.
Bro, I don't understand how these Nigerian ballers are so rich, bro. Like, how are you guys so fucking rich when your country is in shambles? Like, maybe it's just the media that is showing us the bad parts of your country, but like, nigga, how the fuck are you guys so rich, bro? Like, comparing South Africa with Nigeria, that's like comparing Limpopo. Nah, I'm going far, bro. Comparing Sandton and like Polokwane, bro. So what I'm saying is, how the fuck are you guys so fucking rich? Or maybe is it just a selective few of you that fly out from Nigeria to South Africa that have a lot of motion, bro? Because all our bad bitches are all on you, bro. Like, bro, this is crazy. How the fuck are you guys so fucking rich, bro, when your country is in shambles? Like, bro, what the?
A year later, fuel isn't just expensive, it's harder to come by.
That's just time being wasted. Time you should be in the office, time you should be with your kids, time you should be doing something that sort of is productive.
This spike in prices has been good for the country's billion-dollar illegal oil industry. Which takes us back to the Niger Delta and refiners like Mickey Mike. Mickey Mike and his crew of 5 have been working since around 7 p.m. last night to stay under the radar from authorities. They asked us to use pseudonyms to hide their identities.
We've been friends from our very tender age. Our parents too are friends, they're very close. So what you will see around 1 hour or so, you'll see fuel start rushing through this pipe.
They buy crude from people who break into pipelines and siphon off oil. Once their refining is done, products like diesel and kerosene make their way to the local capital of Port Harcourt, to markets across the country, and even end up in neighboring West African countries. Mickey Mike and his crew will get paid nearly $1,000 for a single night of refining. It's a lucrative business in a state where almost 40% of young people are unemployed.
I'm a student, but this whole going to school is not really my intention right now. My mom is the only support I have, and it's really hard for her to support me and to keep me going.
His mom has been a fisherwoman her whole life. But oil spills in the area have poisoned the rivers she used to fish.
The third one has finished, so we want to tie it here.
So now, she deals in oil like her son.
My son will not be in this way that I'm struggling. He will not come and be a fisherman. That is why I struggle to train him. But I don't know, this period is the ASIPA is worrying us.
She travels the region selling her son's fuel to communities in the Delta.
W
It
mom,
powers
sir.
off-grid villages desperate for
mom.
light. Even local authorities and oil companies needed to run their daily operations. Demand isn't the problem for Mickey Mike and his crew. It's the authorities.
Yeah.
Raids like this, by both government and private security firms, are a weekly occurrence in the Niger Delta these days. Camps are destroyed and illicit fuel burned. The country has been trying to crack down on illegal refining for decades, which costs them billions of dollars in revenue. Mickey Mike and his crew are lucky if they can even refine twice a month.
We are most concerned about our safety, but in a case where you have no option left, you always take risks to survive.
They see themselves as taking only a small slice of a vast resource that is making the government and international companies rich.
You look at your environment and you say, okay, if I take from the government, it's more better than I pick up arms to go and rob any individual.
Under their feet, they have a commodity that Nigeria as a nation depends on. And here they are in the midst of inexplicable poverty. For so long, the benefits that come from the legal sources have eluded them.
Those benefits have mainly ended up enriching oil companies operating in Nigeria, and the biggest among them has been Shell. Shell has been leading the extraction of oil here since the 1950s, when Nigeria was still under British rule. The company owned thousands of miles of pipelines and has been accused of interfering in Nigerian politics and the economy, which the company has denied. It's also been responsible for numerous oil spills. When pipes break, oil contaminates the land and riverways. Traditional livelihoods like fishing and farming are no longer viable, and the economy becomes more dependent on oil.
No, I get why this company was banned in South Africa. They burned this country, like they burned this whole thing down, bro. But nowadays, I don't think we have Shell going around as like, what do you call this? Selling any petrols around any petrol stations in South Africa, or maybe they came back in a refined name. But I know Shell, they got banned in South Africa. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I believe that Shell was banned in South Africa because of what they did all over the world, bro. We're not following principles, and yeah. But either ways, I just believe that the whole fucking oil world is so filled with a lot of corruption and a lot of like killings and like world pollutions that we don't even normally talk about, bro. It's the only driving point for global warming right now. We have so many problems in our world because of oil refinement, bro. Like, this is crazy, bro.
It used to be one of the most beautiful places in the Niger Delta. But now with the level of pollution, it's astonishing.
In the early 90s, a protest movement against big oil took off in the Niger Delta's Ogoniland,
led by an activist named Ken Saro-Wiwa. Saro-Wiwa campaigned for more accountability on Shell's impact on the local environment and spoke out against the inequality of oil in the Niger Delta.
Yeah.
In what many saw as retribution for his activism, Saro-Wiwa and 8 other activists were arrested and accused of murdering several local leaders. They were found guilty and executed. Because of Saro-Wiwa's campaign, Shell left Ogoniland in 1993. Now, the majority of international oil companies, including Shell, are selling off their oil operations on land. They say they're losing profits to oil theft and will instead focus on deep-sea extraction. Every November, people gather in Port Harcourt on the day of Saro-Wiwa's death to remember his legacy.
Ken mean a whole lot to me. It's a role model and someone they can emulate. They killed the messenger, but they couldn't kill the message.
Even if their drilling has stopped in Ogoniland, Shell's pipelines are still a liability.
You can come and perceive the odor. Even when I open it now, you see. I hope you perceive the odor. Yeah. There is oil on it. I hope you see that there is oil on it. If you see the faces, look at it here.
Since the oil spoil everything, when you plant the cassava, no grow more than this. This cassava now, this cassava like more than 7 months now.
Sure.
We are planting cassava, you remember like this. These people they do profile, you are not benefit anything from them.
More than 500,000 barrels of oil has been spilled in the Niger Delta since 2010. The majority of it caused by sabotage and theft, according to data from Nigeria's Ministry of Environment. Apart from spills, illegal refining has also caused heavy air pollution around Port Harcourt, leading to respiratory problems among residents.
You can never separate oil drilling from pollution. Why don't we stop this? Why don't we do something safer, something more meaningful, and something better for the environment?
And people are trying. You can see it in these solar-powered streetlights, for example, which are all over Port Harcourt, funded, in part, by oil companies like Shell. And there's this $1 million project that's trying to restore the area's mangrove forests.
More needs to be done to take these things into areas where it can impact on the livelihoods of the people. That is a practical way to get people to understand that it is time to transit and provide them an alternative to what they're used to.
But in a country where most revenue comes from oil, Nigeria is also doubling down on the business. This refinery, which opened last year and was founded by Africa's richest man, is expected to eventually refine enough oil to meet all of Nigeria's needs.
For someone who is sitting in a cozy air-conditioned room in Abuja, oil is about revenue. For someone in the Niger Delta, oil is about livelihood.
Economists sometimes use the term resource curse when describing Nigeria's relationship with oil. It's when assets that should bring wealth and stability to countries instead lead to poverty and corruption.
Some countries buck the trend, like Norway, which has been able to create a national savings plan for its citizens with proceeds from oil and gas. But elsewhere, it's every man for himself.
We are not even concerned about oil spill anymore, because if we'll be suffering from what we are not benefiting, let us suffer for this which will give us money.
In many ways, small-time refiners like Mickey Mike are both perpetrators and victims of this.
As long as demand stays high in a fuel-hungry country, and the world drags its feet on weaning itself from oil, they will keep doing what they can.
Your friends, do they support what you're doing or they don't like what you're doing?
Yeah, they support what I'm doing.
Why?
Every little guy around this environment want to go into.
I want my son to be a better person tomorrow, not this business matter, but to be in somewhere that we will have the rest of mind. To survive before the oil come out. Now, if the oil Kukuma stops, if anyhow, God go open one way for all the other for us to survive.
Hey, bro, that's crazy, bro. Wow. Now, for real, Chad. This video right here, bro, it's like so crazy. You even think about how many people are suffering out there, bro. So, like, it's so crazy that there's people out there that are suffering through this. Oh, fuck it.